Welcome to another edition of Attack on Ambiguity. There have been many colorful personalities in television history, but none are more timeless than the blue-collared anti-heroes. The characters that represent the worst of the working class, yet we all cheer them on anyway, due to their over-the-top personalities and their great antics. Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin, Earl Sinclair. However, none comes more prominent than Al Bundy of Married with Children. The man has it all. A job he hates, children that don't respect him, a wife he can't stand, a car with no upholstery and gas, neighbors that want to up him financially and socially, and a town that cursed the day he was ever born. Now you're probably wondering what's so ambiguous about that, and you're right, there's no ambiguity on that, except for one thing. Despite all that, he lives in a nice house. This has been bugging me ever since I watched the show. If he's so poor, why is his house so great? It's not perfect compared to, say, the richer, more successful Darcy family, but it's not a complete dump either. The kitchen works well enough that Marcy borrows their oven every now and then when hers is on the fritz. The living room is in tip-top shape even though no one lifts a finger to clean it. And while in the later series Bud and Kelly do get jobs, before that Al Bundy is the sole breadwinner despite having a minimum wage in 1987. That's $3.55 an hour. Since he comes home during the evening, he gets about $187.60 a week, which rounds to $750 a month. In this day and age, $750 a month could only afford a bachelor apartment or at least a one-bedroom, depending on property values. But back then, theoretically, Al shouldn't even be able to afford an apartment, let alone a house with kids. Especially when in a neighborhood where it's surrounded by the rich like the Darcys. After watching a few key moments on the show, I come to the conclusion that the Darcys are not only the landlords, but also give the Bundys a discount from the real price. Now, first I thought Steve Rhodes, Marcy's first husband, was the landowner for the property. But since he left, and the Bundys are still living there, I concluded that Marcy is the landowner. Now I know what you're thinking. If Marcy's their landlord, how come she hasn't kicked them out? I thought that too, until I noticed the way her and Al banter with one another, as well as the many pranks, some of which are borderline illegal. Yet they continue to stay. Then it hit me. Al is blackmailing Marcy Darcy. What it is not spoken out loud, which leads to further ambiguity. However, it's so devastating that not only does she have no choice but to discount the Bundy family, but it also has her put up with their antics to some extent. Hence why whenever she foils a scheme, it usually ends in a mundane manner in which Al still lives in his house, and why he only limits his battles against her to just verbal assaults. Each one's life is in the other's hands, so to speak. As for what Al has on her, I'm leaving you to guess that one. My guess is that she secretly is related to the Bundys by blood. Both Al and Marcy are no different than one another save for their social and financial classes, and neither one backs down. Sometimes Al wins, sometimes Marcy wins. And since she's the only main character that's ever beaten Al, it leads me to believe that she has the Bundy luck and doesn't know it, hence why she's more well off than Al. But if she mentions her luck, she will lose it all. That said, she would do anything not to let out her secret that she may be a Bundy, even if it's providing shelter for her most hated enemy and his family. As usual, debate, argue, and let me know what I missed. Stay tuned for more, and if you can't think of what to comment, just give me a Wool Bundy.